Good morning, year five. Now, today we are looking at finishing off our topic on volume. So, this is our consolidation lesson. Reason and problem solving. Lots and lots and lots of information, not so many questions, but it's making sure that you can decipher and find the information, or at least the important information from the text. So, I'm going to help you go through a couple of questions here, but without reading it. So, make sure you've read it because there's lots and lots of clues there. So for question one, these are the top views of the shapes each child has designed for this round. If everyone used as many blocks as possible, who built the tallest shape? Okay, so in the text somewhere, it will tell you how many blocks they can use. Look carefully for this, and if they've all used as many blocks as possible, who built the tallest shape? Now Leo has got 4 across the top. That means if he's got 4 underneath, it would have to be a full row of 4. He can't just have 2 blocks underneath. It needs to be complete. Okay, so Leo could have another row of 4 underneath, another row of 4, another row of 4, depending on how many blocks they're allowed to use. Kira has got 3 and then 5. So Kira's got 8. So if she's allowed to have another layer, she would have another 8 underneath, and if she's allowed to have another layer, she'd have another 8 underneath. So that's something to think about. And Chaz has used up 11 blocks. Okay, so if he is allowed to have another layer, depending on how many blocks they have, remember, he would have a layer of 11 and then another layer of 11. So go from there. But this question's easy if you can spot how many blocks they can use. Okay, so maybe circle it or write it down on your piece of paper. Okay, so then it says number 2, Leo's shape's volume is 20 centimeters cubed, Chaz is 11 centimeters cubed, Kira's shape's volume is greater than Chaz but smaller than Leo's. What is the volume of Kira's shape? So all question 2 is asking what's the volume of Kira's shape. She's used as many blocks as possible up to the limit on what blocks we had. So if you've worked out how many blocks Kira has used in 1, then that's the answer to 2. Okay, so it shouldn't take you too long to work out because you should have already worked it out in question 1. And then nice and simply, whose design should the team submit for this round and why? Whose team, which shape is the tallest? Because that's what they're going for. It does say in the text, make sure you read in the text. Which shape is the tallest? So how many layers can they have? And why? Okay, so that should be fairly straightforward, hopefully. Now, remember, we're not just stopping there if you're doing hot by sea, we are just trying to work through the whole paper, okay, because there are not that many questions. Round 2, okay, again, I'm not going to read it, so I'm just going to read the questions and try and give you some pointers. Question 4, estimate the volume of each shape, put them in order from smallest to largest. Okay, so estimate their shapes. A little bit harder, but you need to read what it says in the text first. So you could just go around trying to work out how many blocks each child's used and then put them in order from smallest to largest. So you may make a mistake here because it is quite hard to work out, but just give it a good go. So if you can work out the volume of each shape, or as it says estimate, so can you estimate the volume of each shape, then put them in order from smallest to largest. Just have a good go at that. And from the text that you've read, which design should the team submit for this round? That's for you to work out, okay? Depending on what it says in the text. I'm deliberately not reading the text, so I don't want to give you the answers. It's a consolidation lesson, okay? So make sure you're reading the text, picking out, underlining, circling, writing down whatever, all the important information. Which design should they use? Depends on what it says in the text. Depends what the design brief was, okay? Make sure you go back to what it says in the text. And then round 3. Round 3, again, I'm not going to read the text, so you need to work that out. However, they've given you the cubes for Leo, Kira, and Chaz's shapes. So, which child hasn't finished their shape? You need to work that out depending on what it says in the text, okay? Then it says for number 7, which cup should they use as their entry? So which one fits the design brief best or perfectly, okay? So again here, these are just 2 names, but you need to go through and work out from the text. So that's all the pointers I'm going to give you today, because it's consolidation. We need to know what you can and can't do as well. Okay, awesome. Have a good go, guys.